Hello everyone, Sons.2 and welcome to another Modpack overview, this time on Odd Balanced Elements. A modpack that has a mix of certain tweaks, such as getting across gaps, using a scope on a bow, equipping armor portably, and more, along with a few tech, magic, and a few aspects that change up the game, such as the use of clay tools and removing stone tools, and then also another way to get iron tool-like tiers with the survivalist sort of wood tools. So yeah. But yeah, so just look in the pack. It also adds obviously this button as well. So yeah, a few odd menu, otherwise tweaks in tech and magic and other stuff. So fair variety of things and a few hardcore aspects included as well. So we'll just go for what's included here besides the mod list, and then we'll check back if need be. So yeah, in terms of content though, for different blocks, you've got advanced inventory management for adding the ability to easily equip armor, feed yourself, send things into an ender chest, I believe, as well as monitor certain aspects of a player like movement, giving them a potion effect, stuff to do with experience, and more. Otherwise, there is arcane bags for adding in certain storage and different things you can do with it. So an infinite bag, making it magnetic, and more. We have Architecture Plus for adding in additional wood types, as well as a helmet that gives you haste. So there's a bunch of different wood options here, which you use regular vanilla wood along with a schematic book, and you can convert it to these types of planks if you want a different option of woods. There is Willy World, which adds in a dimension, which I'll just make real quick. Let's see, dimension portal, here we go. Yep, it is supposed to work much better than that, but oh well, I just didn't set it correctly. Oh well. There is a better way to approach it. Wall key, that's what I want. Here we go. I'll just remove that. There we go, that's what I wanted. So wall key and some compressed wool, and then you have access to a wool dimension. Now I haven't generated this yet, so it may take a bit, but we'll see. So if you want another dimension to visit, or somewhere else to build that isn't the other dimensions, or the overworld, then you have an option here. I don't think many mobs spawn, but we still have dungeons and such, it seems, along with a wool-coated world. I think water and other stuff still generates. So there's that. Otherwise, compact storage, you've got a chest builder, backpack, and the ability to make chests that can expand in certain ways. Ender storage for obviously sending items or fluids across dimensions, or just between point A and point B if you're far enough away from where you've got a pump set up or quarry or something like that. Entity hoppers for getting things from mobs with a hopper below, so an entity focused hopper. It doesn't like squeeze them into an egg or anything. I think it's mostly more for drops and sort of stuff, but it's been a while. Extreme energy for adding in two power systems, one that is chunk based and one that is just RF typically. And you've got certain things like a coal generator, lightning, or static even, nuclear bomb, conversion between RF and field, or back again, sawmill, assembler, crusher, furnace, tools, and there's also different aspects you can use in the armor to enhance a player's capabilities. There's also these power crystals you get from ore that store RF in you, but if you have it on you, it'll give you the wither effect. So best to find a way to store the power once you can. If I can find where the capacitors are, which do require the power crystals, of course. So you need at least some of these and then something else to store it, unless you have like a battery from another mod, maybe. So yeah, there's a bunch of obviously other enhancements. Fluxed redstone for adding in different wires, which would be useful for transporting the extreme energy sort of power besides its own cables, which I can't remember how much they do, or even if I can find it. But either way, if you want to transfer RF and make things a lot easier than using its own cables, then you can do that, or between other RF focused mods. There's a heart block which you can break and it will give you health back, I'm pretty sure, something like that, or is supposed to drop a heart. Can't quite remember, I think you just hit it, yeah, not with a pickaxe. And it gives you health, so you'll find that in caves if you've taken damage. There's a tank for storing fluids. There's conveyors for transporting items and blocks, as well as to filter things out. Got another one that sends items and blocks across dimensions of point A to point B, so there's another option. You've got Japta for adding in power, fluids, and quarries and other things. So yeah, so power and fluid transport. I do recommend the flux hopper when transporting certain things from Lightning Editions blocks. So its generators don't work with the fluxed wire and other such stuff, so I recommend the flux hopper for that. Otherwise though, it adds in things for bone meal, cake, power storage, a levitator, if you want to levitate yourself, transporting items and fluids with certain blocks, or the hopper, or an elevator, charging powered items and such, quarry, just charging, dungeon finder I think, fishing block, and more. We have Jack-in-a-Box, which adds in a few digging and mining and other certain capabilities I think for trees, so that's crafting table I think that keeps your stuff inside it, this one's for, or powered, like a autocrafter maybe, something like that. You've got lamps, which doesn't actually add in light source type things, but it adds in more just a bunch of decoration blocks, like glass and so on, as well as a lamp of time for changing the day and night if you want. Otherwise, Lightning Editions adds in additional things. So you've got backpack, the ability to, I assume, speed up machines, a magnet, generators like I covered before, bookcase, placing and breaking blocks, recycling bin and more. There's also some nether ores as well. Lightning attractor for getting RF from lightning if you want, as well as a few upgrades and such to make things easier to get the lightning or more power out of it or something. Make clay valuable again as a way of adding a bit of challenge to the mod pack. So you can't make stone tools, as you can see here. You can try and go on it and there's no recipe whatsoever. So you want to rely on clay tools as your stone equivalent. Now, other than that, you'll get clay from skeletons, or wither skeletons, which after you defeat skeletons I think spawns wither skeletons and then you can get clay. So yeah, you go from wood straight to clay tools with some particular aspects to it, and then you can possibly get iron. I think after that, if I get iron ore, I think you can get it easily after. If we try, yeah, you can get iron immediately after. It's just auto smelting because of the upgrade on it. But yeah, so there's that. Otherwise, you've got Mo equipments, which adds in additional rings with abilities, as well as emerald armor and a powered version of armor that I think possibly uses these rings and such. Otherwise, you've got seeds for mobs if you want to farm them that way. There is phony blocks, which has fake ores, which I think explode afterwards. Pieces of ore, which has ores that appear in the world like so, and you can get a dust from them, and then you can make it into a gem or nugget or something else. So yeah, so there's more things to find in the world. Above ground though, there is pole arms, which adds in different spears, so additional weapons you can use besides the regular sword or axe. Portable armor equipping and removal. You've got portable crafting on the go. QDC adds in a few additional machines as well as its own sort of system. No power here, but it adds in a few interesting aspects. I recommend using the particle extractor and item assemblers very early on if you can, to then get points to then use certain aspects for those in the blocks. That's sort of how it works. I might cover it in an overview at some point, but I've been wanting to, just still learning possibilities of it. Its features in and out. Rain collector, if you want to get, I think, energy from rain, something like that, or converting power to rain. So there's sensors and a few other things. Get the ability to find out information from redstone. Solar panel. You get the ability to move storage or blocks around. The Survivalist mod, adding in uses for wood in a different way. And iron tier tools is another option. That also heal themselves, I'm pretty sure. More solar panels for RF generation and upgrades and ores and such. Beacons and additional building blocks made from meat. Block placer, XP hopper, and a few other things in the vanilla way. You've got additional building blocks, breaker, and water jar. XP storage with a wand. Then you've got boats that aren't able to sink in water, as you do sink, I think, pretty much typically in... Yes, you can't get back up, so you have to use a boat or so to get across water, as well as other mobs will also sink. You've got a ability to catch water as well as get fluids with a pump. Wild versions of carrots, beetroots, and potatoes. A wizard boss that has certain abilities, certain ores as well. And there's also armor and a hammer for certain additional options. Using things for minecarts, so loading or unloading blocks, maybe even mobs, I think. There's also different blocks for defense, for TNT and alarms and other things. So yeah, in terms of content, that's that. There is vanilla magic, which adds in summoning or refining, I think, and a few other things. And all the achievements cover how to do the altar and a few other things. You've got a map there, and the rest is pretty much just small things like the bow scope and other additional benefits. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.